It was a dazzling evening in Portland, Oregon. I was standing in the middle of my sister Emma's 25th birthday party at our cozy family home. The place was lit up with twinkling lights. The smell of cake filled the air, and everyone was buzzing with laughter and music. The centerpiece? A massive birthday cake, looking all fancy and perfect. But what no one knew, that cake was about to wreck everything. Midway through the party, I accidentally bumped into the table. Just like that, the $22,000 cake, my secret gift, came crashing down in front of everyone. Frosting splattered everywhere. The room went dead silent. Then, Mom, Linda, lost it. "Chloe, are you serious? You just ruined Emma's moment," she screamed. "Dad, Tom," pointed at the door. "Get out, Chloe. We're tired of your clumsy messes." Their words hit me like a slap. I stood there, frozen, feeling like my whole family had turned on me over one stupid mistake. I quietly walked out to my car. I sat in the dark, trying to process it all. I didn't mean to ruin anything, I thought. They always make me feel like I'm less than Emma. But they don't even know what that cake was. I texted my best friend, Ryan Carter, spilling the whole mess. He shot back. $22,000 for a cake? Chloe, that's wild. What's the deal? So I pulled up the baker's email. That cake had $20,000 cash hidden inside. A surprise I'd funded with my online finance startup to prove I'm not the failure they think. But now it was smashed, and I couldn't shake the feeling, was this really just an accident? Later, Emma texted me, "It's okay, Chloe, it's just a cake, but Mom's really mad." She sounded sweet, but something felt off, like she wasn't telling me everything. I called Mom to apologize, but she was ice cold. "Chloe, you always mess things up. Don't come back until you figure out how to say sorry for real." Her words cut deep. Emma's weird vibe just made it worse. I felt totally alone, like my family had chosen her over me. But that $22,000 cake? It wasn't just a gift. It was my shot to change how they see me, and I wasn't letting it go. Before I get into the rest of this crazy drama, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Ever been blamed for something you didn't mean to do, or totally wrecked a big gift? Hit like and subscribe if you're curious about who's behind this cake crash, and where my $22,000 went. I'm Chloe Miller, 27, and I run an online finance startup from my cramped little apartment in Portland, Oregon. It's not some flashy gig, just me teaching people how to budget or invest a few bucks. But it's mine, and I'm damn proud of it. I started it to prove I'm not the failure my family seems to think I am. But to them, it's a hobby next to my sister Emma's shiny marketing career. Mom, Linda, 50, used to work at a bank and can't stop gushing about how Emma's the family rock star. Dad, Tom, 52, a construction engineer, doesn't say much, but when he does, it's usually a subtle dig like, "Why can't you be more like your sister?" Emma's 25, smart, gorgeous, and the apple of everyone's eye. Sometimes I catch her giving me this weird look when I talk about my business, like she's annoyed I'm even trying. The only one who's got my back is my best friend Ryan Carter, 28, a freelance graphic designer. He thinks my startup's the coolest thing since sliced bread. Growing up, I was always the runner-up. Emma got the big birthday bashes with streamers and cakes the size of a small car, while mine were just okay. Mom and Dad would beam at her report cards, her soccer trophies, her everything, while I faded into the background. I still cling to these fuzzy memories of us as kids, playing in the backyard of our suburban house before the favoritism got so loud. That's why that $22,000 cake mattered so much. It was my chance to say, look, I've made it too. I'd stuffed $20,000 cash inside it, a gift for Emma to kickstart her own marketing studio, all from my startup's profits. But when it crashed at her party and they kicked me out, I started wondering if it was really just bad luck. Maybe someone didn't want me stealing the spotlight for once. Right now, I'm a total wreck, half doubting myself, half ready to fight harder, and completely crushed. My family's always made me feel like the spare kid, but that cake was my shot to rewrite the story. After it flopped and they showed me the door, I can't stop thinking, was this my screw-up? Or did someone set me up? A few hours after they kicked me out, I drove back to my parents' house. My stomach twisted up like a pretzel. I just wanted to apologize, maybe smooth things over with Emma. But when I pulled into the driveway, I slammed on the brakes. My jaw dropped. The $22,000 cake, stuffed with $20,000 cash as my big surprise for her, was smashed flat on the doorstep. Not just dropped, but obliterated, like someone had taken a bat to it. I couldn't breathe. I fumbled for my phone, hands shaking, and dialed Ryan. "Rye, the cake's gone. It's like a freaking smoothie now. My $22,000, gone!" He gasped so loud I could picture his wide eyes. "No way, Chloe. Who'd do that? You think Emma's pissed enough to trash it? Or jealous?" I crouched down, staring at the mess. Bits of frosting stuck to my sneakers, and I spotted a few crumpled $100 bills fluttering in the breeze. I grabbed one, then another, counting frantically. Most of the cash was missing. My heart pounded. This wasn't some random accident. Someone took it. I whipped out my phone again, scrolling through my emails. There, the baker's confirmation, delivered at 3 p.m., intact, no issues. So what happened between then and now? I glanced at the neighbor's house. They had that fancy security camera. I practically sprinted over, begging them to let me see the footage, and there it was. A blurry figure in a hoodie hovering near the door just before the cake turned into a pancake. My stomach flipped. Emma, Mom and Dad, or someone who hates my startup guts? I couldn't let it go. Back at the house, I stood under the old oak tree out front, the one Emma and I used to climb when we were little. I could still hear her giggling as we dared each other to go higher. Now? She wouldn't even look at me. I texted her, "Hey, do you know anything about the cake?" My phone buzzed a minute later. "Chloe, it was just an accident. Don't blow it up into something it's not." Her words hit like ice water. Cold, sharp, off. She was lying, or at least hiding something. I clenched my fists. No way was I dropping this. I had to find out who did it and why. The whole cake fiasco yanked me straight back to those raw, messy family wounds I'd spent years pretending didn't exist. I can still hear Mom's voice cutting through me. "Why can't you be more like Emma? She's got a real career." It wasn't a one-off jab. It happened every time I opened up about my life. I'd feel this lump in my throat, or maybe I'd just roll my eyes and fake a laugh to shake it off. Meanwhile, Dad would give me that look, that slow head shake, whenever I brought up my startup. "Chloe, get a stable job," he'd say, like I hadn't poured everything into building something from scratch. I stayed up until dawn more nights than I can count, and last year alone, I pulled in $80,000. That's not nothing. But to them, it's like it doesn't even register. Then there's Emma, the star of the family since we were kids. She got the praise, the spotlight, while I was stuck with clumsy Chloe because I dropped a plate once or forgot some family dinner. It didn't matter that I was grinding away, quietly proving myself. I'd smile through it, act like it didn't sting. But deep down, it piled up. I think about Emma's 20th birthday all the time. Mom shelled out $5,000 for this huge bash, complete with a DJ and fancy decorations. Mine? A Costco cake that barely got a happy birthday before everyone moved on. I'd shrug it off, crack a joke, but it hurt, like a quiet slap I wasn't supposed to feel. That's why the $22,000 cake meant so much. It was my wild, desperate swing at showing them I'm not just Emma's shadow. I stuffed $20,000 cash inside for her marketing studio, my big gift to her, and dropped $2,000 on a famous baker to make it perfect. I wanted them to see me as a star too, just once. But when it all came crashing down, literally, it wasn't just a cake that broke. It was every ounce of hope I'd pinned on that moment. Now I'm sitting here in my apartment, staring at the walls, wondering if they'll ever get it. Will they ever see how hard I've worked, or am I stuck being less than Emma forever? That cake disaster didn't feel like some random accident. It hit like a blow to everything I've been fighting for. And now I can't shake this nagging thought. Maybe someone didn't want it to work out. Maybe someone's been waiting for me to fall flat. I don't know yet, but I'm not letting it go. I'm going to figure this out. A few days later, I'm sitting across from Ryan at this cozy Portland cafe, my hands jittery as I pull up the neighbor's security footage on my laptop. There's this blurry, hooded figure creeping near the Miller house right before my cake got smashed. Ryan's eyes narrow. This is shady, Chloe. Emma's always going on about you trying to outshine her. Maybe she's got something to do with it. My stomach twists. Emma? My sister? I don't want it to be true, but the thought sticks. I'd already cornered the delivery guy earlier that day. He swore the cake was fine when he left it, but then he said, "Oh yeah, there was this weird guy hanging around your place." Weird guy? Who? My mind spinning. Later, I'm scrolling Instagram, and there's Jake, my smug startup rival, bragging in his story about disrupting someone's big project. It's too close to home. Is he talking about me? I can't hold it in. I call Emma. "Do you know anything about the cake? Who trashed it?" She fires back. "Why do you always blame me? It's your stupid cake." Her voice shakes, though, like she's covering something up. Then Mom calls, her voice cold as hell. "Chloe, stop making a fuss. You've done enough ruining Emma's party." It's like a punch to the gut. I feel so alone, like I don't even belong in this family anymore. That night, I have this messed up dream. Emma's under the oak tree in our yard, slicing the cake with a knife, laughing, "Chloe, you'll never win." I wake up gasping, soaked in sweat. I stumble to my laptop and check my email, and there's this creepy message from Shadow95. "Nice cake, but no one wants you to shine." My heart's racing. Someone's out to get me, and I'm done guessing who. I'm calling a family meeting. I've got the footage, the Instagram post, the email, all of it. I know dragging this into the open might blow everything up, but I can't keep swallowing this crap. Whatever's coming, I'm ready to face it. I pull into my parents' driveway, and it's like the air's holding a grudge. Stepping inside, the vibe's worse. Mom's on the sofa, eyes red and swollen. Dad's pretending the TV's his lifeline. Emma's arms are crossed so tight she might snap, and Jake's lurking by the door, twitchy. I drop my laptop on the coffee table with a thud. That $22,000 cake, $20,000 of it cash from my startup, someone trashed it. Who? Mom gasps. $22,000? Chloe, are you serious? Dad mumbles, "Your startup made that?" I don't answer. Just pull up the security footage. A hooded figure slinks by the door. Emma's on me fast. "You're insane. I didn't touch your dumb cake." Jake chimes in. Sis, it's just a mess up. Relax. But I catch his quick glance at Emma, like they're in on something. I open an email from Shadow95 and read it aloud. Emma, your sister's outshining you. Don't let her win. Emma's face drains white. Okay, fine. I might have bumped the table, but I didn't know it was worth that much. My chest tightens. An accident? Or not? Then Dad cuts in, voice flat. We never bought into your startup, Chloe. Thought you were just flexing. Mom's tears spill over. Emma's our star. You always screw things up. It's a gut punch. They've been rooting against me this whole time. My phone buzzes. Ryan's text. Jake met your rival last week. Could have tipped them off to ruin the cake. I whip around to Jake. Did you sell me out? Silence crashes in. Emma's sobbing. Jake won't meet my eyes, and my parents look guilty as hell. That cake was my shot to prove myself, but now it's clear. My own family might have wanted me to crash and burn. The living room was a battlefield, and I was losing. Emma's sobs sliced through the silence. Chloe, I was jealous, okay? Everyone's obsessed with your startup, and I didn't mean to ruin the cake. Her voice cracked, but it sounded rehearsed. I wasn't falling for it. Not after everything. I whipped out my phone and pulled up Jake's Instagram story. There he was, smirking, captioned, "Time to disrupt the competition." I shoved it at him. Explain this, Jake. He flinched, eyes darting. I didn't hire anyone, Chloe. I just talked to some people, he yelled, voice shrill. Bullshit. Then my phone buzzed. Sarah's text. Bank records. $5,000 wired to Jake from my rival right before the party. My gut twisted. You sold me out for money? I whispered, staring him down. He froze, guilt screaming in the silence. Mom's voice wobbled. Chloe, we needed cash for Emma's studio. She's our focus. Dad mumbled. Mia Larson always said you weren't trustworthy. Mia? Who was that? I glared, but they clammed up. I bolted to Mom's room, hands shaking as I tore through her dresser. Her diary fell open. Chloe doesn't need to know. Emma's the future. Tears burned my eyes. All my work, my dreams, they'd trashed me like I was nothing. I could barely breathe. Then it hit me. Mia Larson, Mom's old bank rival. She'd lost her spot to Mom and never let it go. My email pinged. Shadow95 wrote, Chloe, your family chose the wrong star. Times Square, if you want the truth. Mia. She'd hooked Jake, turned him against me to stab at Mom. I was her pawn. I snatched the diary and ran, chest aching. Outside, another message. Times Square, Chloe. The big mirror's waiting. In Dad's journal, I found it. A train ticket. Mia, Times Square scribbled on it. My hands shook. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a setup, and I had to face it, even if it destroyed me. A few days after the chaos at my parents' house, I couldn't shake the weight of it all. The cake, the yelling, the way they chose Jake over me. It stung deep. But then I got tired of feeling small. I wasn't going to let them write my story. So I grabbed my phone, hit record, and let it all out on YouTube. The cake disaster, the $22,000 surprise, the ugly family drama. I laid it bare. I didn't expect much, but overnight, that video exploded. My startup? 10,000 new students signed up in a week. I pulled in $150,000 like it was nothing. It felt unreal. The ripple didn't stop there. The FBI caught wind of it. Turns out Mia was washing dirty money through her shiny little startup. Jake got tangled up in her mess and landed in handcuffs. Emma called to say sorry, her voice all shaky, but I wasn't ready for that. My parents kept ringing too, probably to lecture me, but I blocked them. Their number just sat there, silent on my screen. I met Ryan at that cozy Portland cafe we loved. He slid into the booth with this big, goofy grin. "Chloe, you don't need them," he said. "Your startup's the real deal now." It hit me like a warm wave. He was right. I didn't need their nods or their rules anymore. One last time, I drove to my parents' place. That oak tree out front stood tall, same as always. But the house? It felt like a stranger's. I left Mom's diary on the porch with a note scratched out in black ink. "I've won." Childish? Sure. Satisfying? Absolutely. I decided to shed Chloe like an old skin. I became Iris. New name, new me. I opened a finance teaching studio in Portland, slapped an oak tree logo on it to keep my strength close. Every class I taught pushed me further from that old life. I started a blog too, Truth Under the Oak, spilling my story for anyone who'd listen. Thousands did. Their comments poured in, and for once, I didn't feel so alone. Jake sent a letter from prison. "Sis, I messed up. Don't hate me." I read it, then held it over the sink and lit a match. The fire ate it up, and I just watched, feeling nothing. He was gone from me now. Mia, though, she wouldn't let go. She slipped into my dreams, standing under Times Square lights, her voice soft. "Chloe, you are the light." I woke up with my heart racing. There's a train ticket in my drawer, crisp and waiting. Do I go to New York, chase whatever she's hinting at? Or do I let the past sleep? I don't know yet. Maybe I never will. I'm Iris now. Chloe Miller's gone, shed like a skin that never suited me. Here in Portland, I've carved out a life that's all my own. My finance studio's nothing fancy, just a cozy space with an oak tree logo on the sign, a quiet nod to the strength I grew into when I left my family's chaos behind. I teach people how to master their money, how to build a future they can stand on. Things I had to learn the hard way. And my blog, Truth Under the Oak, it's taken off. Thousands read it, leaving comments about their own betrayals, their own rebirths. It's humbling, knowing I'm not alone in this. But there's this one thing I can't let go of. A train ticket to Times Square sits in my desk drawer, edges still sharp. I don't know if I'll ever use it. Mia haunts my dreams sometimes, her shadow, her secrets. But I'm not afraid anymore. I've outgrown her games, outgrown them all. Back home, my family's a wreck, unraveling in slow motion. Mom and Dad are crammed into some rundown rental on Portland's edge, bickering like always. Mom's left voicemails, voice cracking, begging me to forgive her. I blocked her number. Dad's disappeared. Word is he's chasing Mia, desperate for some kind of payback. Emma's marketing studio crashed and burned. She sent me an apology email, but it felt hollow, so I let it sit unanswered. Jake's locked up, caught in that money laundering mess, sketching oak trees in his cell. He sends them through Ryan, but I don't open the envelopes. And Mia? She's a phantom. FBI's after her, but she's nowhere. Sometimes I wonder if she's out there, watching me. It's not triumph I feel when I think of them. Just a soft ache, like saying goodbye to that oak tree one last time, knowing it's not mine anymore. Last night, I stood in my studio, Portland's streetlights glowing through the window. I started painting, an oak tree swallowed by fire, and in the flames, a huge mirror in Times Square. Mia's face flickered in it, whispering, "Chloe, you are the light." I set the ticket beside the canvas, my chest tight. Do I go to New York, dig up the truth about Mia, about them? Or do I let it all fade into ash? The wind slipped through the open window, cool and gentle, like it knew something I didn't. Will I step into that mirror in Times Square or leave it a question unanswered? The streetlights aren't telling.